All right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes.
Good morning, everybody. We were too busy enjoying that and fantastic rap to get the game started underway. I'm Amelia Durbin, joined by Alana Archer here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Quite the mouthful, probably the only time I'll get that right, as we see this game of Mixxed versus Titane getting underway. Mixxed, an international outfit from all across the world, whereas Titane hailing from France. As we see the first offensive look from Titane in the white go to the sand with Mixxed on offense now, looking for a break chance. Disc immediately swung to the far side. Kristen with the toe in, back to the middle. Webb there, throws upfield. Maya puts a big one out, but it's too far for Mbe, and the turnover stands. One turnover apiece for both teams in this early 30 seconds of this game. So we see the slow pickup of the disc. Titane back on offense now. Big layout bid. Achenbach with the big bid as the disc goes to this near side. Spinning around on the force. Open side throw. Fakes the huck, doesn't go. And there's the bid. And that is a D, a quick pickup. Webb with that fantastic pressure, but straight to the sand. Both teams looking a little bit shaky here in these opening pool matches. This is a pool match here at the World Championships. So we see the disc being picked up. The pink visor fakes the break throw. Doesn't want it, so puts something up deep. It's trailing towards our commentary booth, loses eyes of it, and a turnover.
Seems like some pre-game nerves or early game nerves. Lots of, I think, probably uncharacteristic areas from both sides.
I think you are absolutely right. Both teams kind of making themselves a bit tired, but that is a fantastic low break throw there from Achenbach. Throws back to this closest sideline, working really well here. Some lovely offensive movement for that first break opportunity back to the center of the sandy pitch. Legs looking tired out there, a high one, but well handled down the line, strike, and there is the goal. A bit of kind of bumping, but a goal is secured, and that is a goal for Webb, I believe. Oh, I was incorrect. 8 and 9, very
Maya.
similar. That is Maya with the goal, and that is a break for this Mixxed side. Now, as we were a bit quick to get underway, we can probably give you a little bit more context now. So I'm Amelia Durbin, commentator for ULTI.TV for not too long, and Alana Archer, this is her debut tournament. And what a debut tournament to be having, Alana. Are you having fun so far?
Yeah, it's been great. It's fantastic weather, fantastic Frisbee. We just had a really good first game, and there's been a number of turnovers, 2 fantastic defensive plays. So hopefully can keep that kind of intensity and effort up. Will be, I think, proved to be a good one.
Absolutely, as that is a break throw for this Mixxed side with some absolutely kind of iconic players. One person to shout out, Jonathan Potts. Alana, I, and the ULTI.TV crew had dinner with him a couple of nights ago, and a legend of the game. I was told that kind of taught Tom Rodacki, the kind of iconic Australian Masters player who's been playing in the senior division, everything he knows. So a pleasure to see him out here today, as we see kind of a slow start to this second point, but a fantastic pull down the center of the pitch, hanging nicely. But Titane eager to get the disc underway, as we see a disc throwing to this side. Male on the disc back to the center. Laurie throws down into the middle. A huck goes up. Couret catches it. Back to Laurie and back to Tué, and there is the goal. A fantastic passage of offense there.
Something definitely kind of interesting that I found with this great Grandmasters division, they play loose mixed. So I think the beginning of that point was a bit of confusion if it was one female matching player, two female matching players. The offense gets to decide which gender the point will be. So not ABBA or Gen Zone, as we might traditionally be used to, but it's nice to see that it's starting to move from open into loose mix, and hopefully becomes more concrete mixed as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely. Making tournaments like this more accessible by kind of relaxing the rules of standard mix means that more people are able to come along, which then makes it more appealing to hopefully people in the future. So great to see this division kind of growing, and seeing these great Grandmasters still out here and kind of giving us a lesson on how to play sand. I was watching this mixed team from in the dark shirts warm up a couple of days ago, and they were doing a drill that was completely throw-a-lead, and it was fantastic to see them resting their legs and playing smart, as we see the disc going up and does land in onto that far sideline, centering to Jonathan Potts, Potsy as we know him, who I spoke about just a few seconds ago, straight into the middle of Tugrisen. This mixed side doing a fantastic job. A big bladey flick goes over, caught on the knees, and that is a offensive hold for the mixed side. What a throw there from Maya. That's their second, I think that's their first goal, second assist, so on the stats board nice and early.
And Greisen, the scorer, she's Danish, but has a European beach silver medal. So seems like she is quite experienced, kind of even in that deep cut you could see reading it well, getting her body behind the disc, getting her knees down to the ground, whatever's necessary to make sure that she can reel that one in as safely as possible.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sometimes when the sand monster gets you and it kind of trips you up, kind of just holding that space and being able to catch it is all that's important, and they took a knee there and comfortably paid off. We are 2-1 here now in this opening pool game at the Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships, as we see the pull going up from this mixed side, but trailing inbounds. I thought from my perspective that was surely out, but it wasn't.
Almost identical to the pull from the last point.
Yeah, so we see the flags in the background. The wind is definitely trailing away from the commentary booth, but only gently. So we see Titane now stretches a hand out. Well received as a player free deep. These flick throws are absolutely perfect. There's nothing that the defender can do. They sit them up really, really nicely and just let them kind of cruise down into the hand of the receiver. That is a fantastic, fantastic throw.
Fantastic read again. Kind of seemed like the disc was bubbling almost a little bit in the air, but the Titane player managing to reel that one in.
I think that's 3 goals we've now had that have been in that corner, and so the teams are obviously forcing them flick. It would be interesting to see if they change it up now and kind of push the backhand force on them, make the discs kind of trail out towards the sea. As we can see, as I said, the flags in the background are trailing away. So here the 15 seconds calls from our wonderful volunteers, doing a fantastic job of making this tournament go ahead. So thank you to all of those who are here, as we see the pull going up, floating down the middle to Potts, Potsy to Maya. Webb now backfield. Low disc, but caught. Gleeson. Klusten with the assist, and that is another goal. Is it a goal? It's a goal.
Yeah, it's a goal.
On sand, it's sometimes quite hard to celebrate because your legs are so tired. I couldn't quite see. There was a bit of a blind bit in my eyes, but that is a goal, and the score is now 3-2. Alana, what's your take on this game so far?
Yeah, I think it's definitely been aggressive. I think that there's the one first break I think might come back to haunt some players. It's really cleaned up since that first point. And I'm particularly impressed by Gleeson, the one who scored the last 2 points for Mixxxed. She seems to just have this limitless energy of get the disc, move it, and go and get it again. So I think she might be one to watch for this game.
Yeah, I'm sure we will be saying that name again. Just one break in this game, with the Mixxxed side breaking in the first point, which keeps us at 3-2, with Mixxxed now trading up to take it. Trading up, we see a disc going up. That is a much better pull from what we've seen so far. Is it too far out? It's not, and they are right at the back of their end zone, this Titane side, but centered nicely. But of course, this Mixxxed side right there. IO shot through the middle. Coutil catches it and takes hands as we see the disc kind of moving backfield and the throw and go. Static now, but a pick being called as we see the flexing biceps there by the Titane side.
Amelia, I really like the aggressive field of that pull. Whilst it was so far deep, they didn't let that kind of stop them. Lots of confidence to catch the pull, get it moving, and kind of progress past the end zone line and almost up to their own brick.
Yeah, completely agree. Sometimes it's hard, it's easy to get stuck in the back of his end zone, but not this Titane side. They're happy to get it moving with an aggressive position as we see a big gust of wind kind of push through the 10. Thankfully, that disc was in the air before it happened. The wind is starting to pick up now as we see the flags really kind of speeding away from us. Titane throws through the middle and well caught as deep strike is going. Can they put it up? They do, and they are right outside the front of their end zone now. Shadae with the assist, and there is the goal for Marte, and that is an offensive hold for Titane.
Marte himself is very involved in the French community. He is the French beach mixed coach, and they World Championships. They won the World Championships in Los Angeles and Huntington Beach last year. So definitely very impressive. His son plays on that team as well. He was here last week playing with Frisbee. So somebody else that's very involved. Love to see that in the community. Somebody that's both playing and coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why these kind of great grandmasters tournaments are so important, because it kind of shows where the legacy started of certain things. The players that we see here today are the ones that kind of forged the way for Frisbee to be how it is now. So it's amazing to see them all out here, see them still playing and showcasing what a fantastic Frisbee community we have all across the world. No matter what age, this sport is accessible. As we see a pull going out of bounds there. So the pull will be bricked unless they want to take it from the point of where it went out, but I believe it is a brick. So it will go 1/3 of the pitch. Oh, no, they've taken it from the sideline. I was wrong. So we see disc swinging immediately. A little bit of kind of poachy set from Titane. Kind of, you see two players up front forcing the disc kind of laterally. Foul on the mark, but kind of accepted immediately. Quite a tiring way, playing a zone on a beach, but seemingly playing dividends, pushing this Mixxxed offensive side to make lots of passes. So we see Maya and Glinderman kind of driving the bus at the back. Down to Klusten, pops it over to Glinderman, back to Maya. Across again to Klusten. These three players doing a really good job. Titane's zone is stopping them from scoring quickly, which sometimes is a strategy in itself. Legs get tired on beach, fatigue happens. Mbe kind of securing the boat, and there is the goal straight through the middle. Alana, what's your thoughts on zone on beach?
I think sometimes it can be quite effective, especially as that wind had picked up. It makes it hard for the throwers to just throw into a specific point. Pinpoint throws obviously are going to become more and more difficult, so definitely impressive to try and make them throw lots of throws and hope for some impatience or kind of mishaps with accidental turnovers.
Yeah, you saw there was one point in the middle where quite a low disc was thrown, and it was caught, but it was kind of a little bit more squeaky than the clean offense we've seen so far from this mixed side.
The biggest question is, especially for the front two that we're forcing, if you can rotate those through to make sure they have legs throughout the whole game and throughout the whole tournament. Really, it's a long couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have players that can play in multiple positions within that zone, else they are going to be feeling very fatigued. I often think standing deep in the zone is the kind of the easiest but also the hardest, but up front is the most cardio challenging. But we see that Mixxed do not want to play a zone. They are happy to play tight match, as we see them still forcing flick, kind of happy to let this Titane side move it to the open side and kind of trusting their downfield defense. High disc goes up, bid needed, but just kind of loses sight of it, does Lori, and that is a turnover. So Mixxed now an opportunity to get their second break on the board, as we see Achenbach with the disc kind of over the top, throws the hammer. Defensive pressure is there. Damashini with the big D, kind of a crucial D. That was kind of a bit of a free goal, but catch-up speed looks fantastic. The single kind of hamstring leg brace there. Hopefully that is not an injury and just kind of a preventative thing, as we see now the offense of Titane hoping to get their score in. You can see Lori really wants to throw it to that break side, but just too high now. Titane immediately on the force, forcing away, but Mixxed really quickly moving the disc. Imimen centered, and there is a fantastic throw across the top. That is Maya, a name that we cannot stop talking about. Have we got any information on the number 8 shirt of Maya?
No, nothing from Maya. I know that they definitely are a team that's kind of made up from all over, so it's hard to put a piece together. But something from that point you definitely could see, particularly from the Titane side, throwing those backhands towards the grandstand really started to lift up a number of the discs, causing 2 of their turnovers. So something to kind of keep an eye out on. Anything floaty, it's definitely starting to blow fairly aggressively now, and it's sort of shifted. It's coming into us. So it was an upwind backhand essentially that are getting caught. Need lots of rotation and lots of low releases to get that out.
Yeah, completely agree. It is starting to get gusty here. Our commentating booth is raised, so we're above the ground here, and the wind is really starting to whip through the booth now, so it's going to be interesting to see how this game continues, as we see a big bladey pull going up there, and we see that kind of aggressive centering from Titane, and the offense is underway, but Mixxed able to get up there, and that is down, as we see the sand skimming up over to Potsy. Oh, out the hands, but contains it. Looking for a reset option, finds it in Webb. Line strike, but too high. Oh, and a fantastic defensive effort.
That was great spirit from Kure to cool himself down on that. And then a huge bid there
from Rohalek.
That was very impressive.
Titane now hoping to, and too far. Bid needed. Potsy immediately with the fast turn, kind of punishing these turnovers. They're right near the front of their end zone. Wants them over there and just touches the disc into space and sits it out absolutely perfectly to that far sideline.
That was a great score there. As you said, Potsy, coming from Australia, has won 5 national championships. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Switzerland, and Great Britain. Was previously the president of WULTI.TV and wrote some of the rules in 2008. So definitely somebody who has put a lot into the Frisbee community. And again, like Amelia, you mentioned earlier, it's great to have these kinds of events to showcase those people in the kind of history of the sport that still have their own careers going as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is now 6-3. If the goal is scored by the mixed side, if they get a break, we will be going to half time. So Titane are going to be hoping to get this disc in and be able to send out their D-line in the hope to get some breaks back to bring this game a little bit closer. Disc lands in, a big trailing pull, centered immediately. But who's there? Of course, it is the mixed defense, really showcasing their speed and athleticism, but it's too much for Mixxxed as we see a big deep shot to Grotil, and the speed on that man. And there it is. That is a quick and efficient offensive point for Titane. It is now 6-4.
I love that kind of big shot going up to Grotil, and then that give and go motion, making sure that you kind of are threatening either direction with a third in the end zone. Definitely hard to stop as a defense and cover all of the big threats. So very impressive by Titane. That point was definitely important, keeping them in it before halftime. You don't want to go into the second half with 3 points down. Let's see if they can get a break here. Be interesting to see if they run a zone again. I thought it was effective, that first point, so
agreed.
See if they can make it work. There is personnel out there, it looks like, that ran in the zone.
Big pull going up. It's deep, but of course fielded confidently. Potsi and Maya working really well together. Achenbach into the middle, over to Potsi. Looking for a kind of flick option, throws the scuba. And goes with one hand. Didn't think he needed a bid, potentially did. Titane with a break shot straight away. Throws to the break side. And just kind of a little bit of lack of patience there from Demartel. And overthrows Tutrel.
That's tough. It's quite a classic motion. You want somebody to make a cut, and then they bounce and run a 7 cut, and you throw it to that opposite break side. But just the speed of that was as if it was on grass, and things are moving at a much more difficult speed. And that was a drop there.
Achenbach with the, not Achenbach, so sorry, Krusten with the second drop. You see Titane looking a bit frustrated, but that's a lovely reset, kind of allowing them to have a little bit more space. And out the hands, a fantastic bid. Legs must be getting tired out there. The wind is getting a bit gusty now. It was quite steady, and now it's kind of blowing regularly.
If I was both teams, I would probably want my cutters to move a little bit closer to the handlers. With this kind of wind, it's getting a bit tough to throw at some of the distances they're trying to achieve. Granted, they're much more elite throwers than I am, but...
What a bid from Potsi, the deep, kind of cut deep really early, and kind of trusted to get it down, and he did. And there's a line strike and a turnover. Just a drop on the front of the end zone line.
Looks like there were 2 receivers looking for the same disc. Might be some friendly fire there.
Titane now, free player in the middle, throws the flick down on the knees to receive it. And just a stone cold drop from Titane. They're going to be frustrated with that. Break chances are kind of rare to come by at the moment, but not in this point. Mixxxed have an opportunity here. Pick's been called, as we see Potsi kind of having a little bit of a giggle, potentially getting a bit tired. Self-check needed. Krusten does not tap the ground. Tap conversation still happening. Bit of frustration being shown, maybe a bit of confusion as to what the pick is and whether it's important, as we see the self-check, and straight away it goes to Potsi. Big flick break, beautifully weighted throw to that break side, and there is another one. What a textbook showing of using the break side to your advantage, and that takes us to halftime. It's 7-4 here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. I am having to read that every time I say it because I do not know it off the top of my head. So many words in that.
Off of that first break side shot, kind of the Mba's continuation to shoot to the end zone was really fantastic. Another Danish player from Mixxed.
And I believe that has taken us to half-time. It's 7-4. Okay, so I have been informed that there is, in this division, you can take one timeout per God, I can't talk. One timeout per game. So no timeout being taken. Some teams do opt to take a timeout at half and allow themselves to have a little bit of a break, but we do not see that here as we see the gesture of the gender being called. Mixed side coming out on offense and have opted for 2 female matching players. And Titane must match that. So we see just a little bit of confusion. Offense do get the priority of what gender they call. And so as Mixxed are coming out on offense off the half, they will choose 2 female matching players. And the disc is now in the air, opting for a flick pull. Doesn't stay in the air for too long. Mixxed centering immediately over to this near side, goes to ground. What a pick up there. Throws it at the floor, but the receiver is in safe. A little lefty. Webb rises to catch it. Down again, this far sideline. Immelman on the disc. Beautiful IO shot to Achenbach. Down again to the ever reliable Webb. IO shot through the middle and just bounces off the hand of Immelman. That is a fantastic shot, but not fantastic enough. Wind is really starting to pick up now. 7-4. If Titane managed to get this break in, it brings the game back a little bit more under control, but time is beginning to tick by. Fakes the flick, kind of wants a free under. It's there, but just too far.
Quite difficult again going downwind. It's nice to see the cutters or receivers are coming under, but that is a fantastic shot, but just too far.
Yeah, just out the hands of Webb there, who has been kind of a really grounding member of this team, really steady in the backfield, distributing discs, but just unfortunately not a goal for them, just a little bit too far. Titane with the disc. The wind is really starting to pick up now as we see the Mixxed side defense looking really good. A foul has been called here, as we can see the conversation between Achenbach and Roti having a quick conversation, uncontested. Just a little trip up, tired legs in the sand, it can happen. Disc is now checked in. Titane kind of using the open side a lot more than this Mixxed side, kind of a little bit more hesitant to break the force, but the defense of Mixxed kind of not paying dividends at the moment. They are being allowed to throw down the open side. Be good to see them try and use a little bit more space, and just a cold drop there from Mate, doing such a good job of distributing discs, but unfortunately just falls out the hand. Throw low but well handled. Royle with the disc in the visor there, throws centering pass to Achenbach. Big flick goes up to Webb, but it's just too high again. These points are getting really long here.
I think the Titane side struggling on that last point, like you mentioned, really playing on that low side and not looking to break the force to kind of shoot upwind after a couple of their turnovers that were backhand arounds on that direction. Mixxxed almost the opposite, playing into the biggest spaces, but just overthrowing some of their receivers when the wind picks up. The disc gets taken and the cut is on sand. It's such a difficult medium to run on.
Yeah, it really kind of saps the energy out of your legs. We do see a timeout being called, the first timeout of this game, and that is called by Titane. And in this quick timeout, Alana and I are going to take a quick timeout ourselves, and we will join you back here in just a couple of seconds. Welcome back to the World Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. I'm Amelia Durbin, joined by Alana Archer in the booth, and we are here watching a pool game of Mixxxed versus Titane. Out of a halftime, score is 7-4, with Titane having the disc to potentially take a break. Oh, I'm being beckoned to wave. Hello, it's me. I'm your commentator here. Thank you for joining us on ULTI.TV on YouTube as we see Titane throwing the disc to the far side. Alana and I were talking about wanting them to use the break side a little bit, and we see it paying dividends now. They're off to the races, looking for a throw and go, but static immediately. Faking the flick, goes backfield for kind of a bit of a super dump. Titane doing a really good job of grinding the unders now. There's a free player in the middle, but doesn't take it. They must be getting tired now as we hear the wind coming up through the booth. Layout bid, so close, IO flick. Titane doing a fantastic job with lots of fatigue. Whatever they spoke about in that timeout is paying off. Spin on the force. Lofting to that break side. There, disc goes up, and that is a break for Titane. 7-5 after quite a long point.
They'll be very, very happy to come back with that one. It definitely looked much better playing off on the far side near the grandstand, kind of where we are on this sideline, trying to play that small ball in the downwind area makes it quite difficult.
7-5 here in this pool game. Now, I have under good authority that this Mixxxed side hail from a few people that used to play for a kind of very famous Mixxxed side, particularly at Compatanga, called Sexpensive. I know that Potsy was telling me about some of the tales of them at their many beach tournaments over the years. So this team comes from players who have represented their national side for many years. So what a fantastic opportunity it is for younger players like myself to be able to see kind of the older generation giving me a textbook lesson on how to play on the sand, as we see offensively now Mixxxed pushing to try and get their goal in. Long throw, but really well caught by Gleason there. Throws center. The women on this side doing a really good job of grinding the unders and distributing the disc. Potsy now throws The flick, a little bit behind, but really, really well caught. Player is really free in the middle, but not confident to throw through the middle, but that's okay. Potsy churning, disc going up, down on the knees, and that is an offensive hold. That is 8-5 in this pool game for Mixxxed against Titane.
Again, great work by Grayson, kind of dictating where she wanted her players to move to as she had the disc. I agree with you, there was one throw where she had a receiver in the middle, but the force really came around, and it's that upwind side. So taking the kind of authority to communicate to her player, no, come back, let's take a safer reset option, and then her aggressively moving again to get the disc back, making sure she catches it in such a secure way with her body behind it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Titane, credit where credit is due. When their offense looks good, it looks really good. Kind of almost comparable to this Mixxxed side. I think they've been a bit unfortunate on getting kind of 3 breaks against them. They did break back, so now there's only two breaks down. This is a fantastic kind of opening couple of games for us. The game that Alana and Steph commentated this morning, which you can catch up on, was also another really, really good game. And the games are only going to get more exciting as the week goes on. We're here Wednesday through Saturday with some fantastic Frisbee, and you can keep all up to date on the ULTI.TV YouTube channels and follows our socials if you'd like. We've also got options for you to become a Patreon if you want to support the work that we do here, and we are so thank you for everyone that is involved in making this possible. As we see Titane, brick pull goes to 1/3 up this sandy pitch. This fantastic Titane offense looking strong now. Comfortable going backwards to make space to go forwards. That is a brilliant shot. And there is a clean hold for Titane. That is absolutely brilliant ultimate Frisbee, Alana.
I loved that backhand by Damancini to assist for that score. Just moving the disc way before the mark has even had the chance to set. It's quite tough that on beach. If you keep the disc moving, defense really struggles what to do next.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think on beach often the kind of offense has the advantage. If you can kind of almost pre-plan where the disc is going to go, you can make sure that you catch your defender sleeping. Catch-up speed on sand is kind of nowhere near what it is on grass. Alana and I played last week for the Mighty Hucks women's sides at the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships, and we kept saying that you have more space than you think when throwing downfield, and you can see Titane kind of capitalizing on that, kind of throwing into a small window, kind of knowing that the disc is safe. Titane now on D. Big pull goes up, trailing but stays in bounds. Maria distributes down to Krusten. Free player slashing in the middle. Back and back, lateral cut. Kind of wants the big. A super dump is there, throws a beautiful backhand IO through the middle to Mbe. And there is the high disc and turf, a very, very free receiver in the end zone. That is a comfortable hold for Mixxxed.
An interesting choice there. Titane side came down forcing backhand for the first in a couple of points, and I'd say that Mixxxed was kind of shred through it. I think their backhands are much more comfortable in this wind than their flicks, so see what they do on this next point, if it is a turn, if they keep the same strategy, or if they change up what they're doing defensively.
Yeah, you know, when you're playing against a backhand force, it's also a little bit easier to throw and go, because the throwing motion is kind of leaning you forward into that running motion. So it also means that you're kind of able to follow your pass or clear out a little bit quicker, whereas that flick throw, not necessarily like conforming with the running motion. But forcing backhand does mean that the disc will be trailing out. But looking at the flags in the background, the wind has changed a little bit and is now coming towards the commentary booth. So I would describe this wind as swirly. I don't think there's necessarily a high side and a low side. I think it is just a little bit gusty. As we see immediately Titane on offense. A little bit of a zone from Mixxxed. Probably the first one we've seen. You can see they've got kind of 2 male matching players up front with a female matching player in the middle. Well held, big bid. really aggressively pushing through this mixed side. There is the flick throw. Is it going to be caught? It is caught. That is a fantastic goal. We have seen loads of those kind of lofty flicks this game, Alana. What's your kind of thoughts? Why are they proving to be so powerful?
I think the biggest thing with the flicks is that you can keep the kind of underside of the disc away from the wind as you're throwing a roll curve or an outside in throw. Particularly in that zone, that cup forcing flick really did kind of allow the Titane side to make some of those more aggressive shots, keep them a little bit bladier so they're not kind of being thrown too far from the receiver. But again, everything run mostly down this side of our commentary booth sideline.
Yeah, Titane starting to play with fire a little bit. They're kind of getting ever so closer to getting these breaks. We've had a few really clean holds from both sides, but Titane kind of starting to chomp a little bit, kind of grinding away and making it ever so hard. I think there's going to be a violation called as I see a piece of paper flowing onto the pitch. It is really starting to get quite gusty. As we wait now for the hand signals to go, the disc is going to go in the air ever so shortly. As we see a big backhand pull goes up, sitting nicely as we see it just kind of wobbling in the wind. It doesn't really know what it's doing. Not comfortable catching that after the up and down. Centers immediately. It's really starting to blow. Potsy has to get low. What a flick throw, sitting, but just goes at the ground. Not enough edge on that one. However, a huck on sand, kind of hucking for position, not necessarily a bad thing.
Definitely. It seemed like in this first kind of couple of seconds of that point, there was a lot of gusty wind, so I'm not against the huck and D strategy. Sometimes you just need to play to your conditions, but this is a great break opportunity for Titane. It looks like there might have been a piece of glass or plastic on the field. Somebody, looks like Mbe from Mixxxed, just pulling that out, just in a sag.
Yeah, safety first. Not a lot of sand socks on show, so making sure that none of the players get cuts on their feet. But Titane off to the races, throwing into the middle. Getting stuck, but just really comfortable, kind of resetting early to make space downfield. Fakes the IO, big flick. Oh, fantastic defensive effort from Potsy. Low disc, and it's caught, and that is a break. I said at the start of this point that Titane are starting to play with fire, and they are fired up. They are just one break down now. It's 9-8 in this pool game. Time is ticking away. Just about 3 minutes until the whistle goes, until we have to play through the soft cap. But what a showing from Titane, Alana.
Yeah, I think that you could really see in that point the patience of Titane. It looked like Maria Monteiro really dominated in the handler space there, cooling back some of her cutters as they started getting too far away, saying, no, I don't want to throw that, it's not safe, and always taking that safe reset option. Move things down the sideline and then pick your shots, take them when it's the right time.
You may have heard me screech a little bit there. We've got our commentary booth, both windows open, and half my wardrobe has just blown off the bench and onto the sand below. So I just had to do a little bit of a quick saving exercise there to make sure I didn't lose anything. As we see the disc going up, Titane fired up, ready to try and get their next break on the board, but this mixed sides are going to be wanting to slot it in. Stuck, but fired through the middle. Big aggressive fakes, resetting down now to Maya. Been so good in this game. A big disc goes up, but a brilliant block there.
By Sade, again, using those aggressive shots, those moments, and getting that D, this is the one to get. So another break opportunity for Titane.
So you see static. Stall count must be rising already. Flick isolation, receives downfield. Big D, what a D from Jonathan Potts. What a lesson on how to do it.
That's Jens Meyer. And looks like a foul
Potts.
is called.
So sorry, you are right. That was Meyer. Low disc, but a down call, but immediately kind of retracted. Call is called up.
That's good spirit. I think that was up, but understand why it was called down. His body did.
Oh, great bid.
I think he had his hands under that disc, but his body came down on it quite heavy, so
yeah, I agree.
do understand why that would be questioned.
Yeah, always best to check. Big disc.
Oh, and it just floats in that wind.
Mixxxed now, want to take their time, yeah. There it is. Can he tow it in? Doesn't need to, just kind of falls short the back of the end zone. Maria with the bookends.
Yeah, fabulous. That's a good point from Jens Meyer there.
Meyer, well known for their Frisbee prowess. I was informed that they won a silver medal with the Australian Masters side quite a few years ago, but fantastic to see them still out there, and what an achievement to be winning a kind of Masters medal and now playing in the great Grand Masters division here in Portimão.
Previously played in Germany as well, I believe, Jens Meyer.
An international side, which, as we said, this mixed side kind of not necessarily representing a country, kind of representing the world. There are players from all over the world on this team, and it's kind of fantastic to almost have them here back as a reunion. Potts told me that the team that he's playing for, as we see him with the pull, was the team that wanted to play hard and party hard. So nice to see that legacy continuing. But we see a flick kind of rolling out, going under the stadium. Rouet gonna need to get on his hands and knees to get the disc out, because that pull rolled out cannot be bricked, but it can be taken from the point where it exited the field. So you see the disc centered low, called up.
That was up for sure. Oh, and a great pull hawk from 20. And it looks like there might have potentially been some contact. Maybe an injury could be called. I'm not sure what the situation is there. Yeah, and everything looks fine.
Oh, great breakthrough, and that's some great end zone defense there. Saw the player whose shorts I just can't see.
It's Monteiro, Maria Monteiro. That's quite a difficult one. I think Grayson got that block, a no-look block on that reset, and then great defense covering the open side. When the force gets broken like that, it's quite tough as that downfield defender to cover everything. I think that time has gone in that last point, so I believe it's game to 12. The score hasn't been updated on the scoreboard yet, but it's currently 11 to Mixxxed and 8 to Titane. So I think, yeah, we're hearing from the volunteers, game to 12.
Close game, not close enough for Titane. However, wilder things have happened when it comes to a comeback. Titane have got work to do if they want to bring themselves back into this game. So this mixed side are going to be hoping for kind of a big defensive pressure and then kind of a quick break score, as we see a beautiful pull going up. The wind really kind of playing tricks on the disc. No one's comfortable kind of catching the disc at the moment, and I can understand why. Low disc through the middle. Titane off to the races. A little bit static, but happy to go backfield. A great sag there from Mixxxed, kind of stopping the reset. Now we've got players who are behind the pitch, down to the reset. Low disc, and I do think, from my keen eyes, that was down. However, a conversation will be had.
I think from the thrower's perspective, having Femke Wool as your defender is quite intimidating. I think her length is probably quite scary to try and throw around as a force.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost forcing throws to be just at that edge of where you're comfortable and where things might go awry. But looks like that was contested and sent back. Seems like a fair option. It was very close.
Yeah, a good showing of spirit, kind of getting the conversation done nice and quickly, as we see a few travels starting to be called now. Tired legs kind of making slowing down a little bit harder. Defense doing a really good job. I'm not sure if we've got a gender mismatch out on the field. I can see 2 female matching players from Mixxed and only 1 for Titane.
I think that Mixxed have chosen to do that, though. Oh. Wheel coming down with that one.
Mixxed going to be wanting to take their time here, kind of get this break in and end the game. Just out the hands, potentially thinking about the next throw before catching it. Maybe the wind playing victim there, as we see Titane circling the disc back to the middle of the field.
With a pick called. And Amelia, I think that given that Titane started this point on offense, they were the ones that could dictate what they wanted the gender to be, so they opted to have 1 female matching player. Looks like Mixxed might have more female matching players that are happy to run with a mismatch. So that's why we might have 2 female matching players on the pitch for them and just 1 on the other team.
Yeah, and to be honest, I love to see that. I think that is fantastic to show a trust in the female matching players to kind of go out brilliant, brilliant from this Mixxed side. Low flick throw to nobody else but Wale, and that is a goal for Mixxed to take the win in this first pool game for them. 12-8 against the French side of Titane. Now, we are going to be having a little post-game interview, so if you just bear with us, we'll be sending you down to the booth where you'll be joining Stefan Lopazzo. But let's talk about the game we have just had. Alana, give me your thoughts.
I think it really started with the first half and a couple of little errors by Titane. I mean, that first point, like we saw, was so long from both teams, but Titane really kind of coming back in that second half, getting a couple of breaks back, but not quite enough. As the wind really started to pick up, felt like Mixxed kind of punched it in with those 2 breaks at the end. So that's very positive to see from some very experienced players, even though they are, yes, a pickup team, but a pickup team of good friends that know each other quite well, it seems. So at what point are they actually a pickup, you know?
Yeah, the classic, is it a pickup team, is it a group of friends, have they played together before? This side's showing that they definitely have played together before and showing a really, really classy game of Frisbee. And how lucky are we to be joined here in Portimão by all of the players here. 24 mixed teams from all across the world, and they are here all week. We haven't got any stats to show you, but that will be coming later on in the week, but we can take a look ourselves at kind of the standout names in that game.
I think Grayson, as I said before, with 5 scores, that's very impressive. From the other side, I would say Male, he was the one that was really that end zone threat.
We see the post-game spirit circles happening. The wind really is picking up. I'm holding my laptop to my body to stop it blowing off. So we see we're just waiting for our post-game interview. You can hear the thumbs up to our wonderful producer and production team. We've got Noah, Lucille, and Grabko supporting us. And we're going to hand over now to the post-game interview. So we'll join you back here in the booth in just a couple seconds.
No opportunity to catch my breath.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Careful.
10 seconds.
Okay. All right, at post-game, Mixxed have got the win. Second round, World Great Grandmasters Mixxed Ultimate Championship. I'm alongside Jens Meyer. Jens, you had a good game personally, but how's it feel to get the wheels going? First game of the weekend for the Great Grandmasters. How you guys feeling?
A bit rusty. It's taken a while to get those wheels going, especially at this age. But look, it feels great to be here. It's a beautiful day at the beach. We left cold, rainy, wherever we come from, all over the world, and are here, and it feels great.
Nice. Talk about that. You are a bit of a put-together team. You got players from all over. I know you got the 3 X's in the middle of the word mixed here. Is there some history that goes with this team putting together the internationals?
There sure is. Where do I start? 20 years ago on a beach in Barcelona. But no, yeah, this is expensive. Is at the core of this team. We've always wanted to play a bit of mixed, so this is why the name came together, Mixxxed Remastered. But yeah, it's a team from all over the world. We've got Potsy from Australia coming in. We have Sean from the US. We have people from Denmark, from Bavaria, other parts of Germany. Yeah, it's great to have an international team here. We were asked, where were you from? We said, well, we're from all over the place.
All over. So it's expensive, of course, a very storied team, particularly in Europe, very well known, but internationally all over the world. As far as the rest of the tournament goes, yeah, we got to be careful here. The rest of the tournament goes, expectations for the team. What are you guys here for?
Fun. No, I mean, look, when we're on the field, we always want to win. We have to keep it a bit realistic. We have already before the first game, age took its toll, or injuries, or however you want to put it. So we're down a couple of guys, and that is, you know, it already felt in this game. So we'll take it game by game. Of course, we'll do our best. We've got great girls who are carrying the team a little bit, so I'll do this to them. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a great time here, seeing a lot of people who I haven't seen for like decades, so that's good.
So good here on the beach. Last question, you guys are letting Potsy come into the commentary booth for the next game. What are your expectations coming out of Potsy's mouth here?
He's going to give you a run for his money in terms of talking. You're going to have to stop him somehow, and I know you want to get a few words in too. So, no, he'll be good value.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think so too. But congratulations, Mixxxed gets the first round victory. We'll hope to see you guys throughout the tournament.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, welcome back to the booth. That ends this first pool game for Mixxxed and Titane. I've been Amelia Durbin for Alana Archer. We'll be back all day and for the rest of the week here at this great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.